Hello everyone, welcome to Vap Fashion's YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. In this video, we'll be learning how to make this beautiful skirt you see on the mannequin. And this is a 4-panel skirt, which is also known as 4 pieces skirt. In this video, I'll be showing us in details how to draft, cut, and sew the skirt. So if this sounds like something you're interested in learning, make sure to keep on watching till the end. And if you're new to my channel, please click on the subscribe button to subscribe and ensure you put on your notification bell so you receive a notification every time I upload a new video. And if you find this video helpful, please feel free to share this video with your friends and leave a comment, and do not hesitate to like. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the video. Okay, I'll be making use of this lace fabric for this project, and we have 3 yards of lace fabric, and then this is our doll face satin that we'll be using for the lining. So to get started, we need to determine the amount of fabric to fold, and how wide you want the panels to be will determine the amount of fabric you'll be folding. A very simple way that I use to determine the amount of fabric to fold for my 4-panel skirt or 4 pieces skirt, I use the hip measurement. And here the hip measurement I'm working with is 50 inches. I'm making this for a client and her hip is 50. So 50, I'll divide 50 by 4, and that will give us 12.5. So 12.5 is my client's hip measurement divided by 4. So I'm going to multiply this 12.5 by 2. So 12.5 times 2, that will give us 25 inches. So 25 inches is how wide I want each of the panel to be at the down part. Okay, so and this totally depends on the amount of fabric you're working with. So if your fabric is not wide enough to give you up to 2 times the hip measurement, then use what you have. But this is just a very simple way of getting it. Just divide your hip measurement by 4 and then multiply whatever you get by 2. So each of the panel will be twice the hip measurement. I hope you get what I'm saying. So right now I'm going to fold over 25 inches. I'm placing 25 inches on fold. So that means when we open the front, we are going to have 50 in total. So I'll place it on fold and show us the next thing to do. So I have my fabric folded on the table already, and this is 25 inches. So the next thing I want to do is to measure the length of the skirt. Remember, we're using a lace fabric, so I don't need hemming allowance for this satin. I don't need hemming allowance. I'll be working with the actual length. And the length of the skirt for my client is 42 inches. So I'm going to be measuring 42 inches from the hem because I want to use this hem, the hem of the fabric, as the hem of the skirt. So I'll place my tape and then measure 42. So this is where my 42 stops. So I'm just going to mark this point. So this is now my starting line. So I'm going to rule a straight line here. So having ruled this line, so from this point, I'm going to measure the hip length. That's from waist to hip length of my client is 11 inches. But this skirt is going to have a band, and the band is going to be 1.5 inches. So I'll be subtracting 1.5 inches from the length. I hope we understand that. So now, because I'll be using half inch to join the skirt to the band, so that means I need half inch to be part of my skirt. So I'll be placing my tape from -1 instead of -1.5, which is the length of the band. So I'm placing my tape from -1, and then I'll mark on 11 inches, which is the hip line of my client. Next, I'm going to mark the knee point. The knee point of my client is 22 inches. I will go up 3 inches above that knee point. This is where the opening of our panel skirt will start from. That's where the opening will start from. Her knee point is exactly at 22 inches. I will go up by 3 inches from that point. So this depends on how tall the person you're working with is. So if the person is on the small side or on the short side, you can do from the hip point, go up by 2 inches. If the person is on the tall side, go up by 3 inches. So from 22 inches, if I go up by 3 inches, that will be on 19 inches. So I'll mark here on 19 inches. And then the next thing is the length of my skirt, which is exactly at 42 inches. And that's it. Okay? So go ahead and straighten out all the lines we have. This is the waistline. I'll label it W. This is the hip line H, and then this is the knee line, and then this is the full length of the skirt. So now having done that, from the folded part, this is our center front here. I'm going to come in with the bust pan measurement. The bust pan of my client is 4.5. That's her bust pan is 9 inches. When you divide by 2, that's 4.5. I'll add half inch to that measurement, so that's 5 inches. So from this folded part, I will come in by 5 inches, which is her bust pan divided by 2 plus half. So I'll come in by 5 inches. So now that we have done this, so the next thing I'm going to do, all my measurements will start from here, from this line now. This is the center front line. So here on the waistline, I'm going to enter her waist measurement divided by 4. And the waist measurement of my client is 38 inches. When you divide it by 4, that's 9.5. And then I'll add 2 inches for my sewing allowance. Here on the hip line, the hip measurement divided by 4 is 12.5. And then I'll add 2 inches for my sewing allowance, so that will bring us to 14.5. So now this is the knee line. Whatever you have on the hip line determines what you will be using on the knee line. So now on the hip line, I have 14.5. I will subtract 1.5 from that measurement and place it here on the hip line, on the knee line. So I'll be subtracting 1.5 from what I have here on the hip line and place it here on the knee line. So here is 14.5. So 14.5 minus 1.5, that will give us 13 inches. So I'll bring it to this point and mark 13 inches. Okay, so that's it. So now for the full length, we're going to leave this point first, and then we'll connect all our points. So I'm going to connect from here, and then to the knee line here. And then, of course, I said I want the skirt, the down part of the skirt to be 25 inches wide. So I'm just going to use my straight ruler to connect like this. You see? So we have this side connected already. So now this space I have here, I'm going to add half inch. I'm going to come out by half inch. This half inch will be for stitching the 2 panels together. I've added it here on the waistline. I'll also add it here on the hip line and then on the knee line too. So having done that, I'll just use my straight ruler to connect the points like this. And then I'll open up to the end of my fabric this way. Okay, so this is it. So please ignore this first line. This is the line we are working with. So this is what our panel skirt, our 4-panel skirt looks like. Can you see? So you can see how it just opens up here. So the essence of this nipple to nipple measurement is for us to have our opening here at the center front. And this is what we have here too at the side here. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to confirm the measurement I have from this point to the hem of the skirt. That's from the knee to the hem of the skirt. You need to be sure of what it is. It has to align, it has to be the same thing with what you have at the center here. So from the knee to the hem here, I have 24 inches. So I'm going to measure here also. So here at the center front here, I have 23 inches. So that's a difference of 1 inch. So here at the side, I'm going to come up by that 1 inch, which is the difference between the center and the side. So I'll come up by 1 inch. And then I'm going to use my curved ruler to connect it like this. So you can see, so we're going to be cutting out this part. This is to give our skirt that nice balance. So now this is our front piece. We want to take out the waist sloper. If you don't take out this waist sloper, there's going to be smile lines in front or some gathering around the front hip line. So from the waistline here, I'll come down by 1 inch. I'll come down by 1 inch here, and then I'll use my curved ruler to connect it. I'll be connecting it to the exact measurement, not to the hip and not to the sewing allowance. Okay, so this is for our front waist sloper. So at this point, we are done with the front piece. We'll be cutting it out. I won't be cutting on this waist sloper yet until we have transferred to the back fabric and then we'll cut out the front waist sloper. So I'll bring in my scissors and we'll cut. This is what our skirt looks like. So I'll go ahead and fold my fabric for the back. Okay, so I've placed my fabric on fold. You can see now that I had to turn the hem to this side. This is because my fabric is wider here. I'm trying to manage my satin. Okay, so now this is the hip line. Let me mark it out. So the center front is facing me now. So this is our waistline here, and this is the knee line also. So here on the hip line, I'm going to add my zip allowance. These are center back, so there's going to be a bit of alteration to this back because we're adding our zip allowance. So here at the center back, I'm going to add my zip allowance. Remember that what I have here is half inch, which is my sewing allowance for joining the two front pieces. So from this center back line, this original center back line, I will come out by 1.5, which is our zip allowance. So here I'll mark 1.5, which is our zip allowance. So here on the waistline, I will be coming out by 1 inch. 1 inch. I'm coming out by 1 inch. So this is to ensure that back tightening so that the skirt does not gape at the back. So here I added 1 inch. Here I came out by 1.5. So automatically here is less with half of an inch. So that by the time I turn my lining with half inch, I'll be left with half inch. And then I'll stitch the zip allowance on 1 inch. So that will take it inside to eliminate any form of zipper bulge. I hope you get that. Okay, so here I have 1 inch and here 1.5. So I'll bring in my straight ruler and connect from this point to this point. That's from the waistline to the hip line. And then from this hip line, I'll connect it back to the knee point here. I'm not adding anything to the knee point. This is to ensure that nice bum illusion at the back. So I'll come back and connect to the knee point here. Can you see? So can you see the shape I have at the back? This shows that there's a butt at this back. And then I'll go ahead and just blend up the line to go in here. So I'm not doing anything special at the back. I'm just using exactly my measurement. Can you see? That's just it for the back. Can you see? So I'll be cutting out exactly the same shape I have here at the side. I'll be replicating the shape, and that is just it. So for this skirt, I didn't add that. I'm not going to be having that on the waistline of the skirt. So if you want to have that, please feel free to add your 1 inch by the side for your dart. That means you add it for both the front and back. But for this skirt is going to be dartless. So right now, I'll bring in my scissors and we'll cut out our back piece because we are done with the back. What our 4 panel skirt looks like. This is our back. So you want to make sure to notch the zip allowance, to notch this part, the center back, so that you don't mistakenly interchange them. So now I'll separate the back from the front so that we can now cut out the front waist sloper. So I'll be cutting out this side now. Okay. So this is what our two front pieces looks like. And you see how the opening will be. It is going to be really full and nice. So I'm going to place this on my lace fabric and cut out what I have here. And then I'll be showing us the alteration we'll be doing at the hem of the lace fabric. You see, I've cut out the lace fabric for the front piece. So now for this edge, just like we reduced the difference between the center and the side, we're still going to be doing that. You can see that I love the scallop part of my lace so that this lace can be full, that's so that it gets to the floor length. So now this is it. Let's measure here. Here, from here to here, I have 25 inches in total. That's from the knee line to the hem. Here, I have 25 inches. And then here, from the knee line by the side here to this end, you can see that I have 26 inches. So which is also a difference of 1 inch. But for the lace, we cannot just cut it out like this because we want to maintain the scallop part of the lace. So now this is what we're going to do. Let me turn it to my side so that we can see clearly. So this is 1 inch that I want to remove from here. So I'll come down from the length. Can you see where the length of the satin stops? I will come down by half inch. I'm coming down by half inch. My difference is 1 inch. I'm coming down by half inch. And then I will get, this is, can you see where I went cutting down the 1 inch? Can you see where it came up to? So I'm just going to mark this point here. So this half inch that I have here, I'm just going to connect it to this point like this. Can you see? It's more like a dart. So I'll go ahead and cut out this half inch. I will cut out this way and cut it out also this way. So just watch carefully what I'm doing. And then I will also take it out like this. Can you see? So I'll be cutting out this half inch. So why did I take out half inch? I'm leaving the remaining half inch so that by the time I stitch them together with quarter inch on this side, quarter inch on this side, so it will completely eliminate the 1 inch, which is the difference. So if you take out exactly 1 inch, that means you are going to have a shortage when you join them together. I hope you understand that. So I'm going to be stitching this with quarter of an inch. I'll just be stitching it like a dart, very small, quarter of an inch. So this is to give it that balance around this side. So can you see that by the time I place it, can you see the balance that the skirt now has? It's not sticking out, it's not giving us that sharpness around this side. I hope we get it clearly. So I'll repeat the same thing on the back piece and then I'll show us how to stitch our skirts together. So it's time for us to stitch our skirts, our pieces together. And these are the two front pieces. First, I went ahead to hem the down part of my satin. I wove it first before folding half inch and then I hemmed it down. Then I placed the satin. This is my lace underneath and this is satin. I placed the wrong side of the satin facing the right side of the lace. So now this is the right side of the satin. Okay? Then I went ahead to stitch the sides. I'm doing French finishing. I went ahead to stitch the sides. I repeated the same thing on this other side. So now we're going to join the center together. But we're not just going to join them together just like that. We're going to be intersewing them. So you just pick one first. For this one now, I'm flipping it this way. So can you see what it looks like at the side? My stitch is inside, so that's French finishing. I want to make sure that it's neat. So having turned it this way, you want to make sure that everything is well aligned. And this is it here. So now you can see how this one is. So I'll bring in this other side. Can you see? Then I'll open it up. Fabric facing fabric, which is the lace here. This is lace facing lace, which is the fabric facing fabric. And now you can see our lining here. So now I'm going to flip the lining to the back side. So meaning lining facing lining, fabric facing fabric. So I'm going to place it here on the wrong side here or on the reverse side here. So I'm pinning all four pieces together. Can you see? So lining, the two linings on the same side, the both laces too on the same side. So I'll pin all three of them together. So for this lace, I'm not double lining it. Normally for our laces, we double line it. I'm not double lining this lace because this lace is quite thick and my client doesn't want double lining. She said she wants just one so that the lace is not too heavy. So and the lace is thick, so it's not going to even show my stitches in between. So you want to make sure that the linings here are aligned at the hem. And then you want to also make sure that the lace too are aligned at the hem here too. So I'll continue pinning till I get to the end. Okay, so you can see, haven't pinned them all together. Can you see the lining side? They are all aligned. Then I'll take this to my sewing machine now. I'll stitch on that half inch I added at the center, which is my sewing allowance. So I'll go and stitch it and come back and show us what we have. Okay, so as you can see, I'm done joining the center and then I went ahead to weave it and see. So now I'll turn it out to the right side. So I'll just bring it out from here. Can you see? So now you can see this is what it looks like at the center here. Can you see how it is aligned here at the hem and it's also aligned here at the scallop part of the lace? You want to make sure of that. So this is what our skirt looks like, the front piece of our skirt. So the next thing to do is to give this a very good press so that it relaxes well. So let me show us what it looks like in front. And you see that is really neat in front. Everything is coming out very beautiful. You see? So now this is our back piece. For the back, we're not going to be intersewing it because we have our zip allowance at the back. So all I did for the back was also to hem it and then turn it at the sides here and at the middle here. So you can see Everything, my seam allowance is in between. So everything is coming out really neat. And this is it. So for the back now, I'm going to place the lace. Right side of the lace facing right side, like this. And then I'm going to come down by the zip allowance I'm going to be using. I'll be using a zipper opening of 9 inches. This person has a big butt, so you need the zipper opening to be long so that the butt can easily pass. So I'm coming down by 9 inches. So from this 9 inches mark, I'm going to mark 1 inch. And you see, remember I added the zip allowance of 1.5. I already used half inch to turn my lining, so I'm left with 1 inch. So I'll mark 1 inch. And this is the knee point here. So at this knee point here, I'll mark half inch. And you see? So I'm going to connect this half inch I have here to this 1 inch mark. And then I'll take half inch all the way down to the hem of the skirt. Half inch all the way down to the hem of the skirt. And this is it here. So I'm going to stitch this part all the way down, leaving the zip allowance. I'm stitching the two center backs together. I'll stitch it close and then sew my zipper to the zipper opening I have here, and then I'll shape the skirt using my sewing allowance that I added. I added a sewing allowance of 2 inches, but you can see I've already used half inch to turn my lining, so I'll be stitching on 1 inch. I'm leaving 1 inch and the remaining half inch for ease. Now let me repeat myself. My sewing allowance was 2 inches. I used half inch to turn my lining, so I'm left with 1.5 inches. So now I'm going to stitch on 1 inch. So the remaining half inch I have left, that's going to be 2 inches in total, because half inch of this one, half inch of the other one, half inch of all around the 4 places. So that's 2 inches. So that will be for ease, so that the skirt is free around the body, because the 50 inches is the actual hip measurement of my client. I hope you understand that. So I'll go through that and then come back and show us before we fix our band. Okay, so these are 4 panel skirts. And you see how beautiful it is already. I'm done shaping it and I went ahead to iron all my seam lines open. You see how neat my work is. So this is what we have. So this is our band that will be sewing to the waistline. I placed my fabric on fold, 2.5 inches on fold in length. And then the width is the waist measurement plus extra 4 inches. So as you can see, I stitched the band together on this side, and then I went ahead to iron it. I folded it into two. I tucked in half inch. So this is 1.5 inches. Like I said, our band was going to be 1.5 inches. Okay. So now we'll open up the zipper, just the regular way we fix our band. So I'm going to place the band from here. Remember, I said extra 4 inches is what I added to it. So I'm just going to leave out 2 inches on this side, and then I'll pin the band here. You see, using this crease line I ironed, I'm going to pin it all the way to the other side, all the way to this end, which is what I have done now. And see, I placed it on the wrong side. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch on this crease line of half inch. After stitching on the crease line, I'll flip it like this and then close up this side. Once I'm done closing up this side, I'll trim out this excess zip I have and then turn it to the right side of the skirt and top stitch it. Then I'll fix my skirt hook and come back and show us the final outcome. So here we are. This is the final outcome of our 4 panel skirts, or 4 pieces skirt. This is the front side. You can see I've stitched my band already, and I've also fixed the skirt hook. And this is what it looks like at the back. And you see, it came out really beautiful. So I'm going to wear this on the mannequin so that we can see what it looks like. If you have watched this video up until this point and you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button to subscribe. And make sure to put on your notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you, and this is what our 4 panel skirt looks like on the mannequin. Can you see how beautiful it came out? It is really beautiful and sitting really pretty. My mannequin's hip is 45 inches and my client's hip is 50. So I had to pin it a little so that it's not too loose on her body. But apart from that, this is just so beautiful and perfect. So you can imagine what it will look like on my client. I'm already excited. I actually enjoyed making the skirt. This skirt is beautiful. If you don't have a 4 panel skirt, I'll be advising you to consider making one for yourself. 4 panel skirt has this special fit. It fits perfectly. It has this very, I don't know how to describe it, but it fits differently. It's very beautiful. So if you don't have one, consider making one for yourself. And this is the blouse I made for this skirt. You can see the blouse is not left out. It's actually beautiful also. I already uploaded a video on how to draft, cut, and sew this beautiful blouse. A detailed video. I'll be dropping the link to this video in the comment section as well as the description box. Make sure to click on the link if you haven't seen that video so that you can watch and learn how I made this lovely outfit you see on the mannequin. If you found value in this video or if this video was helpful to you, please make sure to like this video, share this video with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe. Ensure to put on your notification bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.